introduction to branding. So first of all, before I get into what I have here, can I ask you, when you hear branding, what comes to mind? Packaging, yes. What else comes to mind? Logo, yes. Perception, identity, your uniqueness, yes. What else? The what? The signature. Fantastic. You all, please clap for yourselves. So those are some of the words that connect to branding. While those are correct, that's not only what branding is about. Now, one of the things you must understand about branding is that you don't just create a logo and think that you are branded. So you see that as we go on. Let me also quickly give you this example. Let's say, for example, people know that you started doing bread from a bakery. You started a bakery business and you just call it Adex Super Bread. And as you call it Adex Super Bread with one funny logo, the logo is not even nice, but the bread is really nice, super nice. Everybody loves it. Will people buy or not? Regardless of whether your logo is fine or not, right? Now, over time, when you now notice that, as you when people notice that as they are buying the bread, gradually you started reducing the quality. Butter is not enough, and maybe later your bread that used to stick, used to be very fluffy, used to stick together. All of a sudden, people now want to slice it and put egg in between, and the whole thing is falling apart. What would they do? There was one bread that was my favorite for a while, and all of a sudden I noticed that when we now buy it, number one is as if they just dipped it into vegetable oil and brought it out. There's too much oil on the bread. You touch it, it's soaked in oil, practically soaked in oil. And after a while, it wasn't sticky anymore, it wasn't fluffy, and then we realized that it was falling apart. So it didn't make any sense. So branding is not just the icons, the perceptions, it's the consistency. So when you create a logo, when you create an icon, how consistent are you with the quality? So we're going to talk about some of that as we go on. So for this, for today, objectives, we look at understand the concept of brand identity, which is what many of you have mentioned today. Then explore the importance of unique value proposition. We'll explore the importance UVP, unique value proposition, or USP, unique selling proposition or unique selling point. But what we're focusing on today is unique value proposition. In other words, what you are doing, I hope you remember that you are not the only one who is doing it, right? So what are you going to do differently that makes other people come to you instead of that other person? Or why should they come to you instead of another person? If you sew a cloth, why should they buy from you? If you design shoes, why should they buy from you? If you barb, why should they come to you? For example, where I live in the estate, there are quite a number of guys who barb. But this guy that I barb from, even though there is constant electricity, he's made it a point to, number one, make sure that he uses rechargeable clippers, so that you don't have a situation where you are barbing, all of a sudden there's no light or there's power interruption. You are not looking like Baba Suwe in one part, in the other part you are looking like Michael Jordan. So then number two, he's the only guy that has a tape that you can put on your neck, so that the cover cloth, you are not actually putting it directly on your neck, even though he has just removed it from another person. So he puts a tape, puts the cloth, and uses a sterilizer. Tell me why I should go to the other people. And whenever I also go to him, I can also do transfers. He doesn't insist on cash. And when I also do transfers, he doesn't even bother to check whether he went or not. Of course, that's not exactly. So we're going to explore that unique selling proposition. Then learn how to create a consistent brand voice. When we say consistent brand voice, over the years, one brand that has been consistent with the class they have created is Apple. Do you know that most of the people using Apple products today, what they are buying is the brand, not really the products? When people buy Mercedes today, a lot of people are buying brands, not necessarily the car. When people buy Rolls Royce, do you know that the amount of money to buy Rolls Royce, depending on what value of car you are looking for, A Rolls Royce can still buy 20 luxury cars. So why do people still buy Rolls Royce? It's now the brand that they are buying. Do you know that Rolls Royce does not advertise? All other cars advertise. Even Mercedes Benz advertises. Rolls Royce does not advertise. Why? It's not everybody that can afford them. The people that can afford them, they don't need advertisements. And the engine of a Rolls Royce is what is used to make an airplane. So Rolls Royce is not in the category of any car whatsoever. That's why they don't advertise. I mean, a car that is worth ₦500 billion and sometimes more, who would they be advertising to? The people who are checking their data to see whether it has expired or not. There's no point to it. So they know their customer base. And do you know that some of their cars are even specially ordered? I saw one of their vehicles, a Rolls Royce Culinary. Oh my God! When you get into that car, it's like an SUV wagon. But you see, when you get into the car and you roll up all your windows, it's as if you are inside a studio. It's soundproof. Let somebody be shouting outside. Everything they are saying, you will hear it inside. I'm beginning to water somebody's appetite, right? Then the next thing is discuss strategies to attract and retain customers, although it's within a very short time. So introduction to brand identity. I need to now try to rush. What is brand identity? Brand identity simply refers to visual and verbal elements. Those are the things that you talked about: the logo, the icon that you use, the elements of the brand. These are the days when people just create anything and just call it a logo. But ideally, a logo is supposed to communicate something. It shouldn't just be anything. For example, on this, my own logo is not showing very well, but if you look at that logo at the bottom corner, the left corner, you will see that it communicates something. First of all, it's a combination of letters, which is my initials. Then you notice that there's a man on the logo trying to run. Now, why do I have a man there trying to run? It's a way to describe my tagline or my payoff line. My tagline is inspiring productivity. Now, when you hear something that inspires you, something that has really touched you, really moved you, after hearing it, what do? You take action, isn't it? So that's the idea. That's why that man is running, or it looks like you hear something, you don't remain on the same spot after hearing such. So the logo communicates. So for example, the church that you belong to, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, you look at the logo, everything on the logo has a meaning, even to the colors. The red ring represents the blood of Jesus. The green represents fruitfulness. The dove is a descending dove representing the Holy Spirit. Everything on the logo has a meaning. So there's an outer ring, there is an inner ring, there is the dove, there's the blue color as well on the background of the dove. It has a meaning. The Mercedes-Benz logo, the Toyota logo, everything. So your logo should have a meaning. What are the key components of this brand identity? We're talking about, number one is logo, number two is colors, number three is fonts. I hope you know that for some organization, fonts, that is the character of the letters they're using, is as important as the logo itself. I'll give you an example. If you decide to commit fraud, let's say in one of the banks, I can't mention name, and you create a letter and you say this letter originated from them, the moment they look at the letter and they see the font, they'll tell you it's a lie, it didn't come from us. You know why? There's an official font in that organization, an official font, an official size that they use, and several other organizations have that too. So even at my own level right now, I also have the official fonts that I use and the official size that I use. So every email, so long as it's going out from my desktop, there's a font, there's a size. So if you say that this document came from this bank, they will tell you no, it didn't come from us. Why? There's an official font and size. Then there's also the messaging. There's a style. For example, how many of you know about Uber? You know Uber, right? You notice that when you log onto your Uber app, there's very little they are saying. They give you a sense of class, a sense of luxury. They say so much with so little. They don't talk too much. But you log on to some other apps, there's too much information there. So you can define. How many of you, well, one of the popular banks here in Nigeria now, GT Bank. One of the reasons I fell in love with them was the simplicity of their brand. Well, in this case, their colors, their icons, and the way they communicate some of their materials. And you look at some other banks, you are wondering what is this color that this bank is, a whole bank combining this kind of colors. You can't even make any sense out of the color. You look at some of their brand premises. The brand premises are looking like shrines. Have you noticed something about GT Bank? Their branches are like architectural masterpiece. The first I saw one branch in Ilupeju, it was looking as if the bank wants to fall down. But at the end of the day, when we go, it's GT Bank. It's not going to fall, it's design. Then you remember that song. You know there's this song, Team Mashevai. That's GT Bank for you. Then you know that there is another bank as well. Their own is Pillars. Which bank is that? FCMB. Every FCMB branch has a what? Pillar. And it must be white. Yes. So that's the thing. Then the role of brand identity is for differentiation. The major role of brand identity is for what? Differentiation. People should be able to stand your own out. In fact, I remember when I was on campus, one of the things, I thought I just started a minute ago. So when I was on campus, one of the things that we used to do, there was a guy that was doing graphic design for us. This guy was so good that if he does a graphic design, I don't need to see his name on the design. When I see the design, I know he's the one that designed it. How did he get to that level? Number one, I've seen his works consistently, and I can tell that this guy really stands out. He has differentiated himself with his works that no matter what any other person is doing, just look at the design. This design is from Slayax, or this design is from D1. They were brothers, and that's their names. So it's for differentiation. Then it's for trust and recognition. Take, for example, you want to buy a phone. Let's say you want to buy Apple. You know that you will check very well to be sure if it is Apple as in Apple or Apple as in China. How many of you have bought TVs that they tell you is Samsung, and then at the time, by the time you now check it, you realize that it's Sam. In fact, somebody bought a charger and the charger wasn't working well. The guy now went back to check the charger. He said, "Oh, he thought he bought Samsung, but what is the name? The name on the charger is Samsudin." He said, "I didn't know it's Samsudin I bought." So for differentiation and for trust. Then importance of brand to stand out and to build credibility. Examples of strong brands, I've mentioned Apple. Nike is another one. Just one simple logo, like a tick, just do it. And everybody trusts the brand to the point that they are now being imitated. Look at Coca-Cola. Very strong brand. All over the world, anywhere you go, you find Coca-Cola there. That's a strong brand. And trust me, you can build your brand to that level. Do you know that the lady who owns Sweet Sensation started selling cakes from the boot of her car? So regardless of how small you are starting today, just picture a Sweet Sensation that is all over the country today, starting from the boot of a car. Think about Rough and Tumble, Adenike Ogulesi. Rough and Tumble was a brand, somebody just thinking, oh, having issues with children's clothes, and was trying to fix it. But now she has something that has gone global, that even people coming from abroad are ordering clothes from her for children. It's now a recognized brand. But how did she start? From just rendering service to one person, but she has now stood out. That's the essence of branding. So I can't take the activity. Developing unique value proposition. That's very simple. One of the ways to do or to develop a unique value proposition is this. Ask yourself, what can you do better than other people? Are you with me? You ask yourself, what can I do better than other people? What am I offering that is better than what other people are offering? So when you are about to sell, or before you start advertising your brand, craft a message that identifies. For example, Nike is just do it. Which other popular brand has a very nice or interesting tagline like that? In my own case, my tagline, I have a tagline for it to interest you. And my tagline, like I said, is what? Inspiring productivity. If I want to make it longer, I then say inspiring the productivity of people and organizations. But for short, just inspiring productivity. So everywhere you see my name, everywhere you see the logo, you see inspiring productivity. So what is it that you're doing? Maybe you design hats. You can say simple, classy, righteous. as an example. In other words, what we design for you, you will be elegant, you will be classy, and you are not exposing any part of your body. So that can be your own unique value proposition. If you are designing shoes, a gentleman designed shoes for me 5-6 years ago. I still wear those shoes. The soles are not worn out. So a tagline for somebody like that can be quality with simplicity. Quality, simplicity, affordability. So the question is, what are you offering? Because those words define exactly what is offering. So let me move on, because you get the slide anyway. I've shared with you, so you can share with them. So creating a consistent brand voice. When we say creating a consistent, how many of you are on social media? Now, one of the things I'm going to say to you that you may not like anymore is that from today, stop posting about yourself or your personal social media accounts. Are you with me? Stop posting about yourself or your social media account. Now you ask me, so what are we supposed to be posting? Is social media not for gisting and all of that? Go and check out my social media. Fola Daniel Speaks across all platforms. I don't post about myself in the context of just gisting and just talking to people. What I do for a living is what I post about. When I train, I talk about it. When I have a new book, I talk about it. When I do a training with a bank or any organization, I anchor an event. That's what I talk about. And what am I doing indirectly? I'm indirectly advertising myself to another potential client. Do you get the gist? So when you consistently talk about your product, and another way to go about it, let's say for example, I want more people to come to me as an MC. I won't go online and say, come to me as an MC. I will not just be doing maybe short video, short tips, what an MC should do at an event, what to look out for when you are booking an MC. This is how to be a better MC. Once they notice that I'm constantly talking about an MC, what am I saying indirectly? For example, let's say that you are a baker. You can do cooking classes online. This is how to bake. This is how to make sure that you don't have too much vegetable oil. Some of you put too much vegetable oil. This is how to fry egg with minimal vegetable oil. Am I speaking to someone? This is how to do scrambled eggs. You know, some of you can fry scrambled eggs, but if some of us try it, we will scramble the whole eggs. At least there is scrambled there. So find a way to, so the idea is you are trying to tell people that I'm a what? Chef, or that I cook, but you won't tell them come to me, but you are simply teaching them how to cook. But of course you're not teaching them everything, you're just teaching them the basics. At the end of the day, we don't know you're a cook or not. When you start showing them this is how to cut your coat, if you want to sew, this is how to cut, or if you want to dress, or this is what many of you just go to your tailor, you just order something that you saw online, you didn't check your body size or your body type, you just saw something, you ordered it. Now you are coming to say what I ordered versus what I got. Then you now do a small class and say, next time when you're about to order, these are the kinds of clothes that suit your body type. For example, I see slim fit men. When I say slim fit, I mean really slim fit men wearing double breast suits. Double breasted suit is meant for people like us that are endowed frontally like this. Because we have something to cover. They don't have anything to cover. What are they covering? That you now go and wear a double breasted suit. You know what I'm saying? Because you notice that, okay, go and check. You see somebody who is really slim wearing a double breast suit. What does it look like on them? But you see somebody who is, people like us that are, not that we eat a lot, but we're just, the Lord is enlarging us on every side. And when we wear the double breasted suit, what happens? Sits perfectly. So there's somebody now who is very slim wearing bodycon. You know that you don't have the body to wear the bodycon. You know what? Ladies know what the bodycon is. Guys, don't worry. Just pretend you didn't hear that. I hope I'm not hitting some people. So let me just see what I can skip, so that, because I've been told my time is up. So leveraging branding for customer attraction. Let me just end here. One of the major things that you need to do is that your brand, talk about your brand all the time. As I've said, use your social media platforms, but most importantly, no matter how beautiful your logo is, no matter how beautiful your colors are, one thing will make or keep the customers coming back. If the customers try your product and the quality does not match the adverts, what will happen? So make sure that, just like you heard earlier today, when Koisheba came, he said that I thought they were exaggerating, but I realized that what is on ground is even more. So make sure that you under promise and over deliver. Under promise, over deliver. So if you tell them this shoe is going to last 1 year, let them use it 3 years later and say, you told me this shoe will last 1 year. This is 4 years, I'm still wearing the shoe. You told me this. So as a brand, if you really want to build integrity, under promise and do what? Over deliver. Thank you. God bless you.